Black Mambas are 36 young African women from the local tribes. They're 36 mothers, aunties, sisters, future grandmothers. They're the teachers in the communities, the role models in the communities, and they're the latest in defense against poaching, wildlife security. So the Mambas will spend 50% of their time in the reserve as an early detection, crime prevention, Bobby's on the beat kind of role, visual policing, all of this sort of thing. And then back in the communities, they're developing this role model kind of ethos where we've got to criminalize snaring, bushmeat, killing rhinos and elephants and what have you. And that's what the Mambas are doing in the communities. The Black Mambas complement the armed guard component. So I don't say you can ever do away with the armed guard component, but we do need to reduce our dependency on that inside the national parks, because we're just creating animosity. And we're creating orphans and widows in the communities. We're either locking the guys away or they might lose their lives inside the park, and that's creating animosity. So the Mambas are doing the basic work. They're the public interface. They're marching up and down the fences every single day. They're seeing your footprints come in through the reserve. They're responding to the fence alarms, putting up camera traps all over the show and what have you. If they detect something, the armed guards, of course, will come in and back them up and assist them. The reality is we've lost more animals in these parks to snares, because a snare is an indiscriminate killing machine. Snaring was our single biggest problem here. The Black Mambas have switched off the snaring almost overnight, within the first few months of their deployment. So we're creating safe landscapes for the animals. I would say that's our single biggest success story. With the poaching on the rhinos as well, in the areas where the Black Mambas have been deployed, their detection rate of threats, tracks coming in, fences cut, this sort of thing, is almost 100%. And that gives the armed guards the upper hand. So yes, we've been successful. The Black Mamba concept should be rolled out. I don't believe that a park, a nature reserve, a national park, whatever it might be, anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa, can actually be resilient to the socio-political changes that are happening on the continent and so on, unless you have a Black Mamba component. You can call it whatever you like, but use the formula. The young women from the community, it's the single biggest resource in Africa that has been overlooked for centuries. Get those young women involved, give them a sense of pride and dignity, and let them take charge of a situation. The schools, we have to target the schools. Black Mambas did that on their own accord. They went in and they've signed up 11 primary schools now, fixing them up over the school, painting them out and what have you. There's almost 900 children that the Black Mambas are influencing in those schools at any one time. The bush babies is that component. We stand out in the African sun, it's 42 degrees Celsius here, inside the classroom is 56. We've measured it. There's no windows, there's no doors, the ceiling has fallen down, there's no paint on the walls, a terrible learning environment, a terrible teaching environment. So the teachers have lost interest and the kids have lost interest. Very low occupancy rate in school. Okay, the kids are hungry when they arrive there and what have you. After the Bush Babies program intervened, classrooms have been decorated beautifully, there's fans on the walls and what have you. The kids are entertained and educated in a clean and healthy, stimulating environment. So the teachers have told us, when they come back to take over after the Bush Babies program has left, the kids are much more responsive and they've got a much higher occupancy rate in class, and the kids actually look forward to going to school, and the teachers look forward to teaching in that classroom. The highest achievers get brought into the reserve for a Bush Babies weekend safari, if you like. And that's last year it was 120 kids. We had to stagger it over a couple of months to bring in small groups at a time. And then the Black Mambas take them out on game drives, show them the elephants and so on. So, remember, environmental education is not just about this is a rhino and that's an elephant and please don't kill them and so on and so on. You'll never win if that's your approach. You've got to get them to do water audits in their community and animal welfare with their cattle and their donkeys and their sheep and so on, and littering and planting trees and what have you. So, it's got to start at home first. And then we'll bring them into the park and show them what it could look like. And the Black Mambas and the Bush Babies and all the other programs that go along with that is only partly funded by the state. We get a small subsidy from the state, but that's only 30% of our budget. The rest of the budget has got to come from our partners. So we're desperate to form relationships like we have with Helping Rhinos. It raises our profile. Okay, Helping Rhinos has also taken Black Mambas from this bush environment into a first world city in London. You know, it was a huge eye-opener. First time ever on an aeroplane, first time seeing all of these amazing first world structures with all the history behind it, and so that they thought was really just fairy tales and storybooks. So, you know, if we want to become part of the global community and follow a global moral compass with norms and standards and so on, we have to have partners like we have with Helping Rhinos. I mean, we couldn't survive without it.